Cey helping out. Cey's got the puck, works out of the corner. Cey feeds the blue line. Blair to Edwards to Blair. Across in front, shot by Cey, scores! Patrick Cey and the Riverhawks. Joining us this intermission, Riverhawk sophomore winger Patrick Cey. And Patrick, welcome.
Thank you, Bob.
Nice goal out at UMass Amherst last Saturday night. It was a clutch goal, tied the game at a goal apiece, which brings us to the point. We're in the stretch drive. Is this a pressure time of the season?
I mean, it's. I wouldn't really call it pressure, but it's the time of year. I think we've put ourselves in a pretty good position. We talked all year about getting home ice for the playoffs, and I mean, we're 1 point behind UNH for that, so I think we can kind of control that ourselves. So I think we just kind of got to put the pedal to the metal and make sure we get that 4th spot at least.
I remember Terry Francona of the Boston Red Sox saying at one point you just take it one game at a time. In hockey, do you almost take it one period at a time or even one shift at a time?
Yeah, coach talks about that. I mean, you're going to have your good shifts and your bad shifts, and you kind of got to put it behind you and move on to the next one. So I mean, yeah, you look ahead to your ultimate goal, which is to make it for us, obviously, to make it to the Garden and beyond. But coach says, take it shift by shift and just move on. Like if you have a bad shift, move on to the next one. If you have a good shift, you got to forget about that too.
When you're on the bench, is it easy or hard to forget about that last shift, whether it's the shift you scored the goal on or a shift that maybe you weren't too happy with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any athlete, obviously, if you have a big goal or anything like that, it's a little moment of ecstasy there. You don't want to forget about it, but you can't sit there and daydream about it. So, and if you have a bad shift, obviously you're going to be pretty upset about it. But yeah, it is hard to forget about it. But I mean, it's something you have to do, and you have to move on to the next shift or the next play.
Take you back to the goal. Came in the second period. I think you're on the off wing at the time. Are you picking a spot, or are you just saying, let me get that puck on net?
We've been working on kind of hitting that. Blairsy made a great pass there. He threaded the needle to hit that seam, but we've been kind of working on that the past month or so. About that seam's been opening up and been trying to hit guys coming out that way, and I mean it worked out there, so that was nice.
You say there's that moment with scoring goals. Again, you got to put it behind you. What is that moment like when that puck settles in the back of the net? What goes through your mind at that instant?
I don't know. Me and Robo have talked about that before, actually. If you don't score a lot, I mean, I got like five goals, I think. So, I mean, in 25 games. So, obviously, it doesn't go in all the time. So, you almost look at the ref and make sure, is it allowed or you disallow it? So, I mean, it's almost like a moment of relief where you're so excited, but it's more like that more than anything else.
You said it. I'll use your words. You say you don't score a lot. Do you believe you're a guy that can score a lot?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's when you get the opportunity, you just got to make sure you bear down and put it in. It's a tough league. I mean, you got to get used to it. And I mean, I'm a sophomore, so I'm starting to get. Well, obviously, I'm pretty used to it by now. But I think I'm a guy that can put the puck in the net. I guess I have to show that a little bit more.
As you pointed out, you're a sophomore. You were here last year. You were through it. You were through a stretch drive that we didn't win as often as we wanted to in the stretch. Does this year feel different because you had that experience last year? Because there were lessons that were learned last year that you can apply this year?
Yeah, for sure. I think last year maybe we peaked a little bit early and we started to kind of started to sputter down at the end. And I think right now we're kind of hitting our stride at the right time, maybe starting to peak at the right moment. So I think that comes with the experience that we have this year, and peaking at the right time is pretty important. I think we're doing that right now.
Yeah, the feeling this team believes in itself.
Yeah, I think we do, for sure. I mean, we've talked about that. We had that closed door meeting after we went on that little losing streak there, and I think the captains really put in perspective for us, and I think I think that's really turned it around too.
One of those captains is Mark Robothan, who, since coming back from an injury, has had some clutch goals, been playing terrific hockey. I know at times he's one of the more vocal members of this team, but I've got to think that his play on the ice also sets a terrific example of leadership.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's one of my best friends in hockey that I've ever had, and his leadership on the ice is tremendous. The way he grinds it out, and he's one of those guys that he gets it done. It's not always pretty and it's not always flashy, but he's the kind of guy that he just gets it done. And I mean, off the ice too, he really he makes it like he makes sure that everyone's doing okay. He's the kind of guy that goes out of his way to help out, whether it's with school or anything like that. And he's been like that for me for the past 2 years. So he's a pretty important guy on our team for sure.
I was watching him on his shift. He seals off the wall, does the forechecking, bangs a guy here, wins a one-on-one battle, and you kind of say on the bench, I got to do that on my next shift. I got to work just as hard.
Yeah, for sure. Even coaches actually pointed that kind of stuff out to me. Even watching Robo do some things, and he's even said stuff to me like you gotta do that, and it's like I said, he's a pretty important guy on our team, and he always does the right thing. So it's good to have him.
You mentioned Mark Robotham doing things off ice as well. Do you guys as a team spend a lot of time together off ice?
Yeah, for sure we do. I mean, I go over to I actually go over to Patako and Robotham's place every Thursday for dinner and the night before a game. So I mean, with them I spend a lot of time, and we all live in the same like all the guys live in either Fox Hall or over across the street in Donahue. So you're with the guys all the time. So you usually get to know them and spend a lot of time with them.
You may be able to answer a little debate we had here at one point. Mike Patako said he's a better cook than Robo. He says he nobody can do pasta as well as he can. He says he's Italian, it's in his blood. And Mark Robotham kind of scoffed at that and said that Mark Robotham's a detail guy. Who's the better cook?
Usually when we go over there, Taco's doing the cooking, and me and Robo are just relaxing, sitting back, maybe having a soda. So I'd have to, as much as I love Robo, I'd have to say Taco's the cook out of the two.
All right. I guess we'll wrap things up. There's a question we actually started asking the goaltenders, but decided it kind of works with anybody. What's your favorite piece of equipment?
My favorite piece of equipment? It's got to be the hockey stick, for sure.
Special treatment to the hockey stick? Tell me about that treatment.
Oh, yeah. You baby your stick. You got to, tape it. You tape it before every practice, some guys before every period. So, you make sure it's right flex, right curve, all that kind of stuff. So I'd say the hockey stick for sure.
How often you said some guys may tape it before every period? I know some guys on this team change sticks 3-4 times during a game, but we won't talk about Corey Felitti there. How often do you tape the stick? Would you ever let anybody else tape your stick?
No, I make sure I tape my stick, but it's usually just before every game. But if it gets ripped or if there's a nick in it, usually I'll just retape it. I'm not really superstitious about it. I just make sure I do before every game and usually before every practice too.
You do anything special with the handle in your taping? I was big on the handle and all sorts of things.
Me and Robo usually have a grip tape that we use for the handle, but no one else really uses that stuff, so it's kind of hard to come by.
How many sticks you go through in a year, you think?
I'm not really hard on sticks. Probably, I don't know, I think we order 15 at the start of the year, and I usually have 4 or 5 left over, so I don't go through a whole heck of a lot.
Patrick Cey, a delight talking with you. We thank you for your time. We wish you continued success, more clutch goals, and we look forward to talking again.
Thanks, Bob. Pleasure's all mine.
That is Riverhawk sophomore winger. That is Patrick Cey. You are listening to the Riverhawk Radio Network. Daner to Schaus in the middle. Tees it up. Fires deflected. Goes wide short side. Daner puts it toward the net. Blocked. Shot by Cey. Score! The Riverhawks have tied it up. Patrick Cey picking up the loose puck. The rebound.